Hey guys, I'm Starface, and for Halloween this year, I want to react to some Halloween, well, not Halloween, horror stories by Llama Arts, who are, I know, the creators that created Charlie Unicorn. Charlie Unicorn was my childhood video, one of the first videos I watched on YouTube since YouTube came out. The reason why I'm in this podcast is not because I'm scared, okay? I forgot on it. Midnight Horror Story. I should probably watch. Yo, it's like 20 minutes to midnight. I guess I'll watch that first.
What if your prescriptions were even more expensive and your right to choose?
Okay, Midnight Horror Story. Here we go.
I'm not making this video for attention, or sympathy, or anything. I just want anyone who can help me to do that. My name's Daniel, and this is a story I wish I didn't have to tell. I've been a night owl my entire life. As a teen, I used to stay up way past midnight every night, watching terrifying videos on YouTube.
Which I'm doing right now.
Nothing compared to the horrors of the real world. Nothing compared to the tragedy my family and I went through. The story I'm gonna tell to you now. My parents, being teachers, had always emphasized the importance of sleeping well to me, and would definitely disapprove of my late-night routine.
That's painfully true.
So I knew that if they'd caught me up at that time, I'd be in big trouble. At first, this wasn't a problem, but after I told them about a child predator in our neighborhood that I'd seen in one of my videos, they seemed to grow more and more paranoid, which was obviously understandable. Every night, I'd hear one of them wandering into my room, checking on me, and every night, I'd immediately turn off my light and pretend to be asleep. I never knew for sure if it was my mom.
That's something I used to do when I was like 14, I would say 15 years old. Yeah, I'm on my phone and I hear the door creak, and I immediately turn my phone off and pretend I'm sleeping. Something I used to do.
Since obviously if I opened my eyes to see, they'd know I was awake. Mostly, I presumed it was my dad, from the heavy-sounding footsteps, but either way, I found it pretty hypocritical for them to preach to me about being up late when they were awake themselves. Sometimes
I'm guessing that's not your dad.
Sleeping, because often it was only after what seemed like hours before they'd finally leave and go to check on Alfie. That's my little brother, and Lucy, my little sister.
Oh.
I'd have asked them about it, but I thought it would have confirmed any suspicions which they seemed to already have about my staying awake deep into the mornings of the next day. Like I said, I guess they were just paranoid about the child predator. It was stupid for me to presume any of these things, and I'll never forgive myself for it, but I did it all the same. Anyway, one day, Lucy's school, where my parents both work, announced a school trip. It meant they'd be gone at some point next month from Saturday morning to Sunday morning, and it meant that I'd finally get to watch the horror movie my friend had lent me, that my parents had refused to let me watch. There was one downside, though. I'd be left to look after Alfie. He, being only 6 years old, my mom was reluctant to leave him in my care alone, but my dad defended me, reminding her that Alfie had been up most of the night after a nightmare, so he'd probably sleep most of the day anyway. Besides, he reassured her, he's 17. He can be given a little responsibility. With a heavy heart, my mom agreed. I honestly wish she hadn't. Finally, the morning came for them to head off. It took longer than expected because my sister said some of her favorite toy dolls had been stolen. But eventually, my mom persuaded her that they were probably just lost, and told me to look for them whilst they were gone. I begrudgingly agreed, and soon they were ready to go. As they were leaving, my mom gave me a stern word, reminding me to lock the doors, not go to bed too late, and take good care of Alfie. She told me she'd be watching through the security cameras to make sure I was looking after him properly. I told her she really didn't have to worry. Then we said our goodbyes.
Yeah, do not worry.
We're off. Alfie and I spent most of the day playing outside, but came in after the frisbee landed near a strange man who Alfie said had been in his nightmare. I told him that was ridiculous, because even if he somehow was in his dream, he wouldn't be able to remember. Anyway, I went by myself to get it, and I have to admit that the man was fairly creepy. He had a huge grin, and his eyes, staring right at me, seemed to be permanently forced further open than they were designed to go. His clothes all seemed to have been
So
made
just turn
for
it
someone
right. Okay,
50
that's
years younger,
creepy.
as they struggled to cling to his fully grown body.
Okay, that's just like the Smile
It was
movie.
cold, but he was wearing a sun hat, a tiny one for children, which barely fit on his head. I recognized it, but didn't know how at the time.
Why
If
are
I'd
you
learned
still walking
anything
up
from
to
the
him?
videos I spent my nights watching, I'd have abandoned the frisbee and left. But clearly I didn't, because not wanting to feel like a baby, I approached him. As I got closer to the man, his smile disappeared,
Oh,
and he
okay.
removed the hat and held it behind his back.
Is
I
this guy
began to
wearing
see his
pants?
features in greater detail. He looked tired. He was pale and his eyes were bloodshot and had huge gaping bags under them. In the entire time it took me to get to him, the man didn't move an inch, other than the odd blink. Not even his eyes shifted. At this stage, I was getting uneasy. I just wanted to get it and leave. "Hi, can I have my frisbee back, please?" "Thanks." The thought of that conversation, if you can even call it a conversation, still makes me shiver.
There was no
I locked the
conversation.
front door as soon as we got home. We were both a bit shaken, and Alfie looked tired, so I gave him some more food and put him to bed. It took him about 2 hours to fall asleep. He kept complaining that he'd have another nightmare about that man. I told him he wouldn't, but
It
he
could be a
wasn't
warning.
convinced.
I see him every night.
He whispered to me. "Well, if you see him again, don't worry. I'll be here to fight him off." This seemed to settle him down, and soon he was fast asleep. At about 11, it was time to put my film on. I couldn't have my mom knowing that I was watching it, so
Have a duck.
I did something naive and ignorant, and something I'll always regret. I turned off the security cameras.
What the
I
hell?
watched it for 2 hours straight, my eyes never straying from the screen.
Right, you're so responsible.
I replayed the last few seconds of the film, but the sound didn't happen again. It was coming from inside my house. "Alfie?" He didn't reply, but I could see him under the covers, so I thought he was just asleep.
Oh god, I
I
thought
didn't
he
wanna
was
wake him
kidnapped
up.
or something.
I swear, if I thought anything worse had happened, I'd have checked. "You okay?" I thought maybe I was just worrying too much, hearing things.
Why didn't you
Late, the
check?
film had been scary. Maybe it was just all in my head. I knew from the sound of his voice it was him. "Alfie! Alfie?" Usually this much noise would have woken him up. "Alfie, what's going on?" I knew something was wrong. It was him. The doll. I couldn't believe it. It had to be some kind of sick prank. It had to be. But it wasn't. It was the man I'd spoken to earlier. He'd taken my brother.
Oh no! Dude, do
Alfie!
something!
I was certain they'd be gone before I could reach
Get
them.
on! Get
But he
on!
didn't set off straight away. He watched as I tried helplessly to do something. I screamed and
Dude,
I
just
shouted
break the
and I
glass,
banged
get
on the
back,
windows,
dude.
and I tried to open the doors, but nothing worked. It was all in vain. There was nothing I could do for my brother, my best friend, as he was stolen away from me. It was too late for the police to do anything. It was too late for anybody to do anything. He was gone, and in time, I'd have to come to accept that.
You have 9 new messages. First message.
Hello? If you're out with Alfie, call me back when you get back in, please. Love you guys. Bye.
End of message. Second message.
Daniel, we've been trying to get a hold of you for hours. Is everything alright? Did you turn the security cameras off?
They'll be fine. The security system probably just glitched out. Hey, Alfie, just call us as soon as you can, okay? You know how Mom worries.
End of message. Third message.
Listen, Daniel, we're starting to get really worried now. If you don't pick up, one of us is gonna have to come home to check if everything's okay. Please pick up.
End of message. Fourth.
Daniel, are you okay? Daniel! What's happened? Please answer! I couldn't bear to tell them anything. That was 7 years ago. We never found him. When I asked my parents if they'd seen anything at all of this man whilst they checked on us during the night, they only looked at me.
7
concerned,
years ago, dude?
Confused. What do you mean? They asked. I could only stare at them in horror. Every night, around 2, you'd come and check on Alfie, Lucy, and me to see if we were sleeping.
Daniel?
They told me.
No, we didn't.
The police wanted security camera footage of the man, but of course, there wasn't any. It automatically deletes any footage older than 24 hours, which meant I'd been mindless enough to stop it recording on the only night we could have seen him. You know, the strange thing is, I don't even know if I want Alfie to be alive. Because if he is, God knows what that monster has done to him. Sorry if I've gone on too long, but the guilt's been killing me. I had to get it out somehow. I only tell it as a story because, well, people like stories, and I want as many people to hear this as possible. Alfie, if somehow you're watching, I love you, and I'm so sorry. Please, don't lose hope. And to the man who took you, it's not too late. If you have any heart at all, and even if you don't, please let my little brother come home. To everybody else, if someone comes into your bedroom at night, open your eyes. You never know who it might be. I still stay up late at night. But it's not because I don't want to sleep. It's because I can't. In case anyone sees Alfie, this is the last good photo we took of him. That's it. Stay safe. Thank you.
That was sad. I mean, it wasn't scary, but that was sad. Damn. Yeah, there was a time my brother was almost kidnapped. Oh, jeez. And it was totally like this, because this friend he's not friends with them anymore. It's almost because of his friend. He was like 12 years old. He's 16 now. So I guess like 2018. His buddies went to Knoebels. It's an amusement park. So yeah, him and his buddies. So when they got off this ride, I think Totoro. He had to stop and tie his shoes, and this friend he used to have, I'm not gonna mention his name, I guess, we'll just call him, just call him John. So, his friend, John, acts like he's the leader most of the time. and acts like he is, you know what I mean. So as he was talking to Shu, his friends were yeah, he was late behind. I think he told them he'd stop tie shoes, but no, they just left him. I think they were following his friend John. Because pretty much John led them away from my brother. Like, they were all their attention was on him. So, as my brother was tying shoes, somebody, like, grabbed him. And, like, pulled him, like, into the crowd. We figured, that the guy must have grabbed a wrong kid, but when my brother looked, this is what the guy was doing. Like, he looked like he was trying not to get caught. So, what my brother did was, he kicked the guy, and then he ran away, and then he hid behind, like, a Dippin' Dots stand. And then, like he was hiding, and then he saw the guy, like, looking for him. And then, I guess he hid there for a couple minutes until he was gone, and then, went back to his friends. Their parents were there too. And guess what? He told nobody until he got home. And it was like 9 at night. We were like, when he told us, we were like, dude, why did you tell the security? And I remember my mom had to call the police, and they looked at the security footage, and they couldn't catch anything. Like, it was crowded, they couldn't find anything. And that nearly scared me to death. Like, what? God, like, if he got kidnapped, I would, like, god damn it. It's really, like, I would be really heartbroken. I mean, I was asked if I could go, but that was around, like, October. Like, yeah, I had to go to Penhurst that day. But God, if he got kidnapped, honestly, I wouldn't forget myself. I would beat the shit out of that guy, though. Like, seeing him grab my brother, pull him away. God. And I totally blame his buddy, John, because it was him that literally led the rest of his friends away from him. Yeah, to this day, they're not friends anymore, because he's really not a good friend of my brother. He's just usually he just hits him all the time. Yeah, he's just not really a good friend. But to tell you what, if somebody tries or attempts to kidnap you, please tell someone, because I am really upset that the guy got away with trying to kidnap my brother. Kidnapping can really scare parents, yo. It's really scary. This would seem scary. I didn't know they do merch.
One night last summer, two of my friends, Sam and Jake, convinced me to sneak out with them and drink. We were all bored, just looking for something to do. We decided to go for a walk to a local gas station that was open 24 hours a day.
Llama gas.
The walk there was pretty uneventful. We talked about random topics and drank a couple of beers. Once we got to the gas station, Jake had to use the bathroom. When he was in the bathroom, there was a dirty, sketchy guy in there. Jake struck up a conversation with this guy. It was pretty normal, except when the guy asked why he was out so late, and if he was by himself. Jake brushed it off, as the guy was just trying to tell him to stay safe. We bought some snacks, and we noticed the guy following us around while he was talking to someone on his phone. We left soon after, and on the way back, we sat on the side of the road and talked for a while, as we drank some more. It was pitch black by now because there are no street lights in the area. We saw a car coming down the road, which was no big deal. We sneak out pretty often, and we've never had any real problems. Cars usually just drive by. This time was different. The car spun around in the road and pulled up right next to us on the street, and two guys got out. We ditched the beers, got up, and sprinted down the street. Jake and I hid behind an RV, while Sam hopped a fence. The two men looked dirty, like they hadn't showered in days. We watched the two guys for a little while, which is when we noticed that one of them had a gun in his hand.
Oh.
They looked in our direction for a few minutes before they got back into their car and drove off. Jake and I looked for Sam, but we couldn't find him, so we decided to head back home. We thought we had lost them, but on the way back we turned a corner, and those same guys were sitting in the car, waiting there. We ran through the alleyways and backyards until we lost them. Every few minutes, we saw the car driving slowly down a street or alleyway in the distance, and we would hide. Eventually, we made it back, and Sam messaged to tell us that he got followed by a different car, but he made it home safe. It's been almost a year since that night. We're always more cautious when we go out, and Sam still has nightmares about being abducted. I don't know for sure if the guy from the bathroom had anything to do with it, but we believe that he's somehow connected to it.
Okay. Whoa, that's my music. I guess I'll end the video here. That was good. I mean, it was really scary, but it was sad though. But it was an interesting story. Yeah, I definitely will be watching more scary stories this Halloween. If you're looking for scary horror stories for Halloween, I recommend Llama Arts. God, that was really sad. God, jeez. That better not be based on anything. Based on what actually happened. If so, get that dude home to his big brother. Get his brother home. Got that story time so I can go to bed. Peacefully. Maybe not. Till next time, bye.